Boy. Nice day for getting work done.
Breeze keep you cool.
Pardon?
The breeze will keep you cool.
That's right. It's like air conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like these cool days where there's fewer mosquitoes and there's a nice wind. Oh my golly. I
Fewer,
have one of those
fewer,
garden. Pardon?
fewer asparagus shoots.
Yeah, that's true. Although there's a friend of mine at the community garden that he has an asparagus crown that must be, geez, somewhere between 2 and 3 feet in diameter. Oh my golly. But mine aren't that good, but they are throwing up spears.
Yeah, we've been getting some, but we're just cutting every other day until it warms up.
Yeah, yeah. And some rain would help too, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, every year I kind of reorganize my garden some. And this year is no exception. Oh. Oh, here's Isabel. Hi, Isabel.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, good. We've got a quorum already. Fantastic.
It is.
So what is
boy.
today? Today's the 9th. Huh?
That's right.
Already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boy.
Hi, Christina.
Hi, Isabel.
We had
Wow.
some people that showed interest in your printout, so that was good.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, I handed out a fair number of those. And people were unaware, and so it was double good, I think.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, it's not so easy to find information on the website. So
Yeah.
someone from Tammy Govea's office ended up helping me because they don't update things as quickly as they might.
Oh, cool. That's good. I think she's interested in this whole topic.
Yeah, she is. I think that's probably why one of her staff members was able to help me pretty quickly.
Nice. Nice. Oh,
So I haven't heard from anybody else whether they're coming or not. I think Janet might be out of town, but I'm not sure.
okay. And I haven't heard from Stan. I did send everybody an email, but since it is 7 o'clock and we have an agenda, why don't we go ahead?
Yeah, Lois said that she wasn't sure her green card was active. She's going to go down to the townhouse tomorrow. Did you see?
Great. Oh, here's Janet.
Good.
Great. Hi, Janet.
Hi.
We have a super quorum.
Oh, super duper.
Oh, let's see. I need to print a copy of the agenda for myself. Let's
Do you want
see.
to share it on the screen?
Well, I could do that. Wait, let me see if I can find mine. I can find it. Oh, here it is. Wow, that was easy.
When I was getting my little Word document ready, I threw the agenda documents into there, so I have them next to me here.
Okay, great. Let's see. Okay. Why don't I share this? And actually, I think I'll go ahead and print a copy for myself. And then if everybody has a copy, we can go back to full screen stuff. And actually, I have a copy.
I don't have a copy, but that's okay. It's no problem.
Is anybody missing a copy?
No,
Let's see.
And we're missing Steve. So I don't know if
You lost Steve? No, he's there. He's there. He's just
Okay.
on
yeah,
that
someplace.
there's a heavy fog down at 9 Acre Corner.
Oh, am I,
your blank screen.
Yeah, we need turn on your
Oh.
video maybe.
where are we here?
We have seen you before. We know you're
This is
there.
a different screen tonight, it seems like.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
There should be the video camera.
So did the agenda appear?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I guess I forgot to put down, we should vote on our prior minutes first. But welcome, everybody, and any corrections to the minutes from last time?
No, they look good.
Yeah, I thought they looked good. I cut and pasted a few to-dos for me back into my to-do list, so they're very good for that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Christina.
You're welcome.
Anybody want to vote that we accept them?
I move we accept them.
I
Okay.
second.
Okay, they're vote?
Yes.
I'm all for it. Steve, are you okay with it?
yep, bye.
Okay, it's unanimous. Good,
I'm
good.
still hunting around here.
Excellent. Let's see. Okay, so then our
Well,
next move is to talk about what we did on the 30th. And then maybe after that, we'll talk about our website some. I'm going to stop sharing so we can see bigger pictures because we know what we're going to do now. So the first thing is a review of how the 30th went. Oh, there's Luis.
Hi.
Hi. Well, welcome. Or welcome almost, right?
Yeah,
We've
thank
almost
you.
got you legal. Okay. Good, good.
Thank you.
I'm delighted. That was exciting. All right, so how did the 30th go?
Very well, I thought. I heard only glowing reports.
Isabel, how did it go for you?
I thought it was great. People were interested. It was wonderful that the natural resources people took over the invasives. I brought them, but then I had not known they were going to be there and asked them to bring some. Well, I have no knotweed, so they brought that, but it was nice
Nice.
that they have a table. Last minute, I coordinated getting them a table because it didn't look like, it looked like they were going to give us one table for like the UU, NRC and us. And I was like, that doesn't work. So
It's good, yeah. Yeah, we barely had enough space, especially, I mean, the high school students had a table just on their pollinator stuff.
yeah,
And
Was it outside? It was at the library, right?
yeah,
It was
right-
outdoors on the lawn.
Nice.
it was very nice.
we were right on the entry path, so we had good visibility.
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
the,
people-
and the NRC needed a total table. They had all these wonderful, they had chunks of bittersweet and all
That
kinds
was
of.
me.
That was you? Oh,
Yeah, I
excellent.
brought all that stuff, yeah. But they brought a lot of brochures and handouts, and they really engaged people in discussing the invasives.
Good, good.
And the difference between native and cultivars, they got into quite a bit too.
Nice. And Janet, you've been doing a lot of work on garlic mustard.
Oh, yeah.
I will say that I think that work pays off. We had a pretty bad case of garlic mustard along the Valley Road in Cananum a few years back. And Pam and I just walked it yesterday, and we only saw about a half a dozen tiny plants, which we of course pulled. But the nice thing is, along with that, we saw like some nice asters that are coming up and other things. And we had one little section in Cananum on the access road to the community garden. It was only about, maybe 30 or 40 feet square. And about a decade ago, we pulled and cleared out, multiflora rose, the usual suspects, right, including bittersweet. And in that little plot, there was a little oak tree that we uncovered and a struggling apple tree, a crab apple. And both of those plants have just like that, as well as some, the crab apple is 15 feet anyway, and it just as broad. And the little oak is up at about 20 some.
Hmm.
They've gotten above the invasives.
So people were interested in growing natives and, just getting familiar with that kind.
Yeah. I think so. I referred a few people to that list that that's over at Sudbury Valley Trustees of Jaguar's plants.
Yeah.
Actually, Jaguar's got a website too. For myself, I gave away 4 or 5 hyssop plants, which was fun. Of course, I gave away along with those the little flat Asian worm, but I cautioned everybody that,
Did you, the worm was in there?
well, it must be because it's in our dirt and our dirt's got them. Yeah.
Oh, I've not had them in my garden and now it's up in the front of my garden. Oh,
Well, I'm sorry.
yeah, I am too. I will pull them out this summer.
Okay. Actually, if it's a clean soil, I apologize. If it's a clean soil, pull it. Yeah. I gave 2 of them to a friend of mine. He already had the worms, so it wasn't a big deal. I would pull it right away because the worms right now are in a egg stage. They're not actually worms. They're not moving around. They hatch out and then they, grow like mad. And then they go into a winter stage where they're not existent except as eggs in the soil.
Okay,
So,
I'll dig it up tomorrow.
yeah, I think that'd be good. You could, yeah. And if you,
I'll
phooey.
wash it.
Pardon?
I'll wash it and put the water in a bag.
Yeah. And I guess the plant, well, I've got plenty of those plants. You could just, compost. Well, compost. That's a good question.
No.
If you got a good hot compost. Yeah.
I don't have good compost.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
is this a hyssop?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's just a little
Well, you might
hyssop.
as well give it to me because I've already got the worms and I could use a hyssop.
Okay. That sounds good. Do you know where each other live?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
but I want a hyssop, so I'm gonna wash it off and,
Yeah, good. Well, go for it.
yeah,
I could probably get you, maybe we could propagate it from a cutting. It's a perennial. Let's see. What can we do?
no, I don't think mint goes from a cutting.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Hyssop propagates like crazy from its seeds.
yeah,
It's all over the place in my garden.
Same here. And I think that's how we've got so many babies. It's from seeds. I think we have seeds on the plants, the dead stalks from last year. I could look.
I've got some started in my, under the lights.
Okay, good. Phooey.
I can't see they got my picture going, but I guess you're not missing much.
Well, I've got your voice. That's the key. That's the key.
No,
You might have something in front of your camera. It might be that simple.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, you're right. I forgot. This is
Hey,
my new computer with a push down camera on the top of the screen. I totally forgot about that.
We see you now.
yeah. Welcome, Steve.
No,
Oh,
I
boy.
apologize for not getting down there, but we've been behind the 8 ball with help. A Jamaican crew were 3 weeks late coming at all, and instead
Oh.
of 10, we still just have 6, and we don't know when the other 4 are coming, and it's a
But
mess.
what's the problem, Steve? Why did they come late and fewer?
Well, bureaucracy in this country and in Jamaica have added together.
Oh, well,
We've had a job order we put in for years that one of the provisions we can drug test if we choose to, and one of the OSHA bureaucrats in Chicago didn't think we should have that in there, so he dinged the order the first time around, and they don't tell you anymore when they do it, they just post it, and unless you look at not your email, but their website every day, you don't know it. So that time to appeal expired and we had to start over, and We put it in the next time, again, same one that went through, but we lost a couple weeks in the process. Then one of the guys down there, something happened to his papers, nobody knows what, he filed everything on time, and it just, I don't know,
That sounds crazy.
it is. I mean, we've had some of the same guys for 23 years now.
Hmm.
Doesn't work like it should.
Wow.
So any other reports from the fair?
Well, the bug houses were great. I'm sorry, they were bug hotels by the time we got building them. You're pretty classy. I had 26 wooden structures ready to go. And I think all but 3 or 4 got used. And there were a variety of milk crate, milk carton ones that were covered in fabric, and we don't know how many of those we started with. So we don't know how many we actually ended up using. But my guess is it was somewhere in the region of 40 or 50 little houses were made.
Good.
Yeah, everybody gave Laura great, gold stars for the organizational.
Oh, she did
Yeah.
a fabulous job. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Should we move on to our website?
Right.
Okay. One of the things that was in the minutes referred to updating our website, and I haven't done that yet. But I think, and adding the legislation to the website. Does everybody feel okay about that?
I wonder if we should think about it as a whole in terms of, how often will we be involved with, updating it, and what sections do we want to emphasize? Because, I mean, those bills are for this year, which ends in July, right?
Yeah,
We got 2 months.
yeah.
So, are we going to update it in September?
I think we
Maybe,
need to.
I
Go ahead,
mean, maybe we could just have some sort of statement on there that various bills are being considered by the legislature, and reach out to your representatives if you would like more information, or we can just have a link to the
I don't
main.
think, no, that's not, my experience with legislators is that they need you to give them the number and the wording for something that you're interested in, that they just don't have the staff. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the House, the Senate runs better, but the House is, well, my experience is with Tammy Gouveia and Corey Atkins. And basically, if you don't bow and scrape to the Speaker of the House, he controls the money for the staff you have, he controls what office you have, and they wouldn't bow and scrape. So they just didn't get a lot. So
Well,
my
we-
experience
we
is you have to give them what, yeah.
We could just have a link to the search page for bills in progress, and give people keywords to look for.
Mhm.
Well,
I think
yeah,
that
I think if we keep it as an active research site and we say, these are bills that we on the Pollinator Health Advisory Committee think are important, we urge you to write to your legislator, which is basically going to be whoever replaces Tammy Gouveia, and I guess Mike Barrett's there for a while.
Mhm.
And
Tammy's gonna be there for a while, right? She's
yeah,
not
I
up
can't
for-
remember. Well, the election is in the fall, and then what do they have the swearing in January or something?
Mhm.
Well,
Okay.
we should just, put a date, if we're gonna put it up there, then put a date on it and say, this was current as of X date, and then maybe we can revisit every 6 months or something. Some not too frequent interval, if we want to put it up there.
Yeah, I think if we want it to be really active and effective, we should we should probably have fewer bills and look at it more often. Otherwise, people are going to be calling their legislators about something that got decided 4 months ago, and it's not really current anymore.
There is on the State House, they do provide a status of a bill, like if it's in committee or we could link to that page for each bill.
I like Christina's idea of having keywords and saying,
Okay,
contact your legislator with these keywords or phrases to get locate the active bills that are being considered.
that's a good point, because I have done it with just the word pollinator, and up pops maybe a half a dozen bills.
Yeah, I think I searched for pollinator, I searched for pesticides.
Yeah.
That's how I came up with what I found.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not comprehensive, but I mean, I'm certainly willing to update it, but not every month. I don't have time to do that.
Well, are we allowed to? I mean, do we actually update it, or does the town do it?
Well,
That's a good
I
question.
mean, I go in, I mean, somebody has to find the information on those. Oh, I see what you're saying, the website.
Yeah, the website. I don't think, I mean, I'm no
The
longer working, but
but
we
I
were never
think-
allowed to touch the website at my work. We had to go through the media people. And I think that most likely is true for the town.
Yes.
So then we're limited by whether the media person's available.
Yeah, we
whether
don't
he-
want to have to update it too often because then they might get irritated with that.
So I think, so we want something there, and we want keywords, and we want a link. So under pesticides, to have a section on pesticides, and there's legislation, and then you've got some articles. And do you have any webinars that you want to put under that?
Yes, I think it would be good. There's some very good ones out there.
Okay, so who's going to be in charge of pesticide section? Or who wants to work on the pesticide section?
Well, I could do a little bit. I mean,
Okay, so Christina?
Well,
I mean, I can do a little bit. I can't
You-
take on the whole thing.
Well, Mark, you're going to do the links for articles and webcasts, and Christina, you're going to do the legislation, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can do that. I can probably put together something short and more appropriate.
okay.
So does that cover pesticides? Is there anything else in there that we want to add?
Well, the legislation also, it's sort of broad because it covers, unless we split it into two and put legislation that relates to pesticides on that section and pollinators in a different section. I mean, it's because it sort of covers a lot of things.
So do you think we should have a legislative section and then a pesticide information section?
We could. Maybe we should ask the webmaster what's easiest to update.
Okay.
Still not
Like if-
clear on this idea of legislation. Things move, sometimes they move quickly or sometimes they don't, but if we are only going to update it very infrequently, it seems like it'd be better if we could find a way to link to some more active, a site online from the legislature that keeps up to date.
Well, that's what I
That-
said. I mean, we could link out to their search page, but you still have to.
Yeah.
I mean, we can offer possible search terms, but somebody has to put the effort into it. It's not, there's no obvious place to find this stuff. It's not all neatly bundled someplace. You have to look.
Yeah,
It took me a bit of time to figure out how to navigate it and find everything. And then there are House versions and Senate versions. And so it's not quite so straightforward.
yeah.
No,
If you-
it's kind
are
of
we-
If you have,
complicated.
if you have a number, so if it goes into the next year, my understanding is that it sometimes will change numbers, but it
Right.
might still be going through the process, but it'll cross-reference the old number.
I think they just have to refile the bill, isn't that it? They
Yeah,
refile
but
it
it
as.
gets, it
with
gets a
different-
new number and then it says, previously called whatever.
Right.
Are we gonna meet another time so people can draft what they're gonna do and then we can review that? So
Yeah,
we'll
Yeah.
meet in June?
yeah. Why don't we do that at our June meeting?
Okay,
We'll present drafts of things to each other and maybe do a
Sure.
draft and send it out ahead of time to everybody and then we could, discuss them,
right.
deliberate. and-
Like Christina did with the minutes. That was great.
Yeah, okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because Steve, you've got good contacts with pesticide stuff, I imagine, too.
Well, depending what they are, yeah, it could be.
Yeah, yeah. And I would love to be able to do something with the golf courses in town, because there are two of them. And when I looked at the state pesticide report, it looked like one of them, unfortunately, the one just south of me here, could, if they were more like the other one, that might really improve things. So it's 'cause even at the package level, well, anyway, I've gone on to that before. And
Okay, so we got a pesticide plan and legislation. And Christina, are you willing to do the two-part legislation of pesticide and pollinator?
Yeah, I already have it all on one sheet, so it's easy.
great.
Good, okay.
I could
So then-
sort of split it too.
So what are the other categories we want beside pesticides? And what do we already have? Somebody want to pull up the website and we can see what we're,
Yeah, I could probably do that. Let's see. One of the fun things about our committee is that we're the only one. Let's see. Let me see. I can share a screen here. What the heck? This is kind of fun. Okay, so Concord, wait a minute, not monitor. Concord pollinator. I shouldn't do this, but there we are. So I kind of like the fact that we get this. Let's see. So here's our webpage. Can you guys see that? Okay.
yes,
Okay. And this is a nice piece that what's her name? Shoot, I'm sorry. Anyway, it was put together by an earlier committee member. And it talks about pollinators, gives some identification. Plants, talks about pesticides, what to avoid. It's targeted at homeowners. And then sources of material that are raised without pesticides. If you want to get plants.
Do we have, is there an updated version of that PowerPoint slide, Mark?
I mean, this one right now.
Yeah,
Well, it is a little bit. Somebody I think I talked to the webmaster and I apologize. I should have had it in my craw, so to speak. But anyway, she's updated it. For example, our meetings are typically the first Monday of the month at 7 p.m. So at least that's up to date. And I think our membership is up to date, wherever that is.
yeah.
Yeah, here we are. And then it gets on, this is sort of, I think this is our charge, kind of. Yeah, and here we all are, I guess, better way of saying it.
but
Sig Roos isn't on it anymore, is he?
Who's that?
Sig Roos?
No, oh yeah, that's a good point. So that needs to be fixed. Yeah. And then there's a link to our charge. And then up here, you guys have all seen the charge, I think. Then there's, so this, let's see, I think that's links to what we've already seen. Nope, I apologize. Okay, this is a page that needs work. It just has information on pollinators and then there's nothing there. So we
Okay,
got-
let's put Niconoid,
Yep. This one needs work too. This just has a series of links. For example, this one. And this links to a document that, according to it's a document that's stored locally on the Concord, Massachusetts website. It's a PDF, I think. Yes, I'll bet. Let's see. So I guess a person could go to this. No, I take it all back. It's not a PDF, but you can print it if you want to and make it into a PDF. Let's see. The other ones are probably similar. And
yeah,
this
these
could
are
be
old. Oh,
yeah, these are old, but they're good. But there certainly is a bunch of new research. In fact, the things we were handing out at the on April 30th could be added to this. And this is the third one.
and are the things that we handed out also on the natural resources?
I don't know what's on the NRC website, so we should check that. Let me stop sharing this, but we've got a picture of what's there. So it's kind of thin and it needs work.
I mean, I think wherever we can, if we made materials for the fair, we should try to reuse things.
Yes,
See, and I used a lot of the Sudbury Valley Trust brochures.
yeah.
And there's no link to Sudbury Valley Trust. And is there a problem with referring to other, groups? Because there's some excellent links. I mean, Lexington Living Landscapes is an excellent one. SVT, the Metro West Pollinators,
Yeah. Well, then there's MAP. What is it? MAPN? MAP, Massachusetts Pollinator Network. We should
Could
have
we
it.
have we have a page that lists external resources?
Yeah,
Call it
let's do that.
external resources.
I think that's a really
and
good
have
idea.
have all those useful things like Good Year's plant list and the SVT pollinator task force. I mean, if the information is out there and free to use, then
Yeah.
Well,
I
and
don't
we are
think
doing
we-
our own research, so isn't anything we post going to be an outside resource?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
99%.
SVT has a whole section on MAPC stuff, and I mean, we're known for universities, and
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong. I mean, when you put the sources or
Yeah.
references in a paper, they're always from a whole bunch of universities and think tanks and things. So yeah, I think as long as you give an attribution, there shouldn't be any problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
I think-
new pollinator position at the university that should be getting up to speed now.
Yeah.
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 Where's
Uh,
this, Steve?
Whitehead, Hannah Whitehead,
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is she?
UMass, Amherst.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's just starting to pull together a real
Right.
task. Yeah. I really like the Lexington Living Landscape website, and if you took a look at it, it does provide a lot of information, very friendly. So I'd suggest people take a look at that.
Okay. Yeah, so I think this could maybe that whole thing that we called pollinator information, we could spread that out into a lot of things and perhaps put more links, right on our page rather than just the two we've got.
So we should ask the webmaster to join us at some either next visit or something.
Okay.
One thing, Mark, do you think you could pull up the web page again quickly?
Sure.
Share that web
bet.
page again?
Okay, let's see. Here we are.
Go back to the home page
Okay.
or back to our,
All right, let's see. There we are. There's their homepage.
so I think that's a good slide. And what's the next one?
Been going down?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I think what we want to do is have something, right up top on what people can do. You don't want to make people search
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah,
So maybe have, we want to have like 3 bullets or something on what people can do to make a difference. Plant
okay.
native plants, avoid pesticides if you can, and one other thing, right? I mean,
Yeah. I like that.
something very quick and
Yeah.
right to the point, and then people can, I mean, maybe if we had sort of 3 bullet points and each of those linked out to a section,
Yeah,
because you don't want to make people look too hard.
yes, yes. Yeah, maybe so this like how you can make a difference section needs to kind of be resuscitated as you're talking about it. I think that's good. And maybe, yeah, and this is kind of this, for more information, visit, and there's a link there, but we're already on that page. So actually, I think this was a handout that was just put on the page. So maybe,
Yeah, I mean, maybe we need to have a different sort of second. I mean, those look like PowerPoint slides.
yeah,
That second one, maybe we need something else in between, or if we can, I don't know,
Yes.
that sort of like quick take home messages that people can get to.
I think
or
that's good.
Can read.
And even this, I don't know if you can see my little arrow, but there's this little section called, lawn care company, for example. Just if we had we could put active links in here so people could could pursue stuff right out of this page. This page does not have active links in it that I've seen.
no,
And that's something that the group, the Native Pollinator Task Force has done, is their webpage has links to toolkits and stuff like that. I think we don't want to reinvent the wheel, but on the other hand, we want to make the wheel available to people in Concord that come to this page so they can quickly find useful stuff. Cool. Well, if you want, maybe if you see, now that we know we all know where the page is, if we want to print out or download a PDF of this page to ourselves and then go ahead and tweak it, make it better, why not, right? And then we can kind of merge our additions and cleanups of this. And I see this as kind of an evolving thing. I think this is one of the key things we possibly could be producing for the town that's helpful to people, that would, they can come, if they come to us first, let me see, then they can have we're kind of like a portal into a lot of people are doing a whole lot more work than we are, and like Lincoln, for example. I mean, Lincoln's done a lot. We've seen that. And Southborough. I mean, Southborough's done terrific work on both native pollinator plantings and getting rid of invasives. I mean, they've
yeah,
really,
and they're at Southborough, it's on their website, their
Yeah.
town site. It's all on the town. It's not a separate website. So that is a good point. To
okay.
take a look at the Southborough
Yes,
website.
good point.
They have educational.
And Lincoln is the
This-
same way. Yeah.
This is probably a question for the webmaster, but it
Yeah.
might be nice to have like a little banner or a little box that says upcoming events
Yes.
of interest, because this group sends notices to each other about webinars and things like that, but the target audience could be much broader if we had a way to do that.
That's a really good point, because like MAPN, the Massachusetts Pollinator Network, has an events list on their website. And I think the folks in Lexington point to that. And then there's the Grow Native Massachusetts group that they sponsored Doug Ptolemy's talks, for example. I went to one of those just before COVID closed things down.
They've only had one talk though this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I mean, back in, what was it, back before BC, before COVID, the Ptolemy gave a talk at Harvard that was standing room only in a big lecture hall.
Well, and SVT had to
Fantastic.
do a talk. So did who was it? There was a local garden club that had him talk.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I
So
think
and it's got-
we'll have to ask the webmaster whether that's possible, because there's so many things going on
Yeah.
that it's hard to it would be hard to prioritize.
Well,
I mean, I have 3 webinars a week. Most of them are all on Wednesday night when I have orchestra, so I then watch the recordings.
Yeah.
Great.
And a lot of them are recorded, like Dr. Giguère's talks. There's a ton of those on the web available to anyone.
Well, and the Tufts Pollinator group with Nick, I mean, his talks are fantastic, but I mean, you're right, Christina, you could spend your life trying to track it all down. That's true.
We could,
Yeah, I mean, maybe we just, if there are a few key events that we know about, we could highlight them, but I don't want to have something that we have to constantly update, because I'm sure the webmaster has lots of things to do, so
yeah.
if there's a better place that we can link out to that lists these things, then that's good.
I know that Delia told me that she was trying to get the webmaster to do some things with her website. This was a couple months ago, so I don't know whether life's improved or not, but didn't sound very hopeful. Just
It almost seems to me like it would be nice if the webmaster, for example, could create a template. And then
Yes.
we can take all of our approved links and drop it into that template. So or the webmaster doesn't have to do each one for us. We can manage all the links that are pointed out of that. But we'll all look into
Yeah.
that. I think that's
Yeah.
a pretty
I can't-
standard.
I don't know if it was Isabel or Janet who said that's probably not going to be possible just because of it's the town's website, so they probably have to have control over it.
Yeah, probably not. You're right.
don't know. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
I know that my neighbor talked to me about micro clover as a lawn item that she's very enamored with. And I was like, never heard about micro clover. And she said, oh yeah, da da yada yada yada. So I came home and Googled micro clover. Concord, Massachusetts website, complete explanation about micro clover. Never heard of it before, but we had
Really?
the first link that came up.
Great.
So,
But I like this no mow May Wendy thing that's going on. I'm totally without guilt watching our lawn grow, and it's really fun. We've got dandelions, we've got ajuga coming up. Even my much hated creeping Charlie, which it just drives me nuts. But it's out there blooming away, having a good time in the lawn.
What is creeping Charlie?
it's ground ivy, right?
Yeah. Don't let
Yeah.
it get in your vegetable garden. That's all my advice, and especially not in strawberries. But well, let's move on because we're going to run short of time here. If that's okay, should we move on to Dr. Giguère, the co-sponsorship of Dr. Giguère?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did send an email out to Jane Guba Chevalier from CLCT, but I haven't heard back from her. I said, sort of like, frankly, just how much do you think you'd need to co-sponsor? And I did send an email to Matt Johnson saying, would the select board consider, giving us a tiny budget for this sort of thing, for example. Beyond
Excellent.
that, the only thing I can come up with is a bake sale. I'm sorry.
So I think the garden clubs would put in
Yeah.
money. And I think that, I have on my list to contact Jane for a number of things. So I'll try and work on that.
Yeah,
Do
that'd
we
be great.
do we know how much he charges for a webinar or talk?
I
We know
don't.
nothing.
Because it would be helpful to have that information first before, so we know what range we're talking about.
Well, Jane had him recently come do a talk in Lincoln, and Freddie's had him in Southborough. So between those two folks, I'm sure we can find out rough idea of what it might cost.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful before
Yes,
going to ask people for money.
yes, absolutely.
The other person who's a phenomenal speaker about bees is Nick at the Tufts Pollinator group.
Okay,
And then I had referred our garden club to Desiree out in Springfield, who was a student of Doug Talamir's, and she did a great job at the webinar. So there are other people. So I'll talk to Jane about education.
cool.
Sorry, Isabel, can you just repeat who that was? Jane from,
Oh, Jane's from the Concord Land Trust.
oh, okay, no, but you were saying somebody else was a good speaker. Sorry, I missed it.
Oh, from
Nick,
the Tufts.
got Nick from Tufts.
Yes. And
And then-
Desiree is independent, and I'd have to look up, she's in Springfield. She's a
Got it.
student, doctoral student now in Springfield, or maybe she's working, I don't know, but she did a great talk on also.
Okay. Is there any new business?
Well,
the-
I'm
I was
I'm
just gonna say, I think the website update will keep us occupied
Yep,
for a while.
yep.
Sorry, Isabel.
still working on the pollinator pathway. I've had to sort of change some of my focus because I keep getting poison ivy. And so where I can work changes. But I do think for new business, I thought Janet had a very excellent idea in the past of seed collection
Okay,
of native plants in the fall. And the library, I spoke with the library seed program, and they said they would be happy to be part of that. And I was thinking we need someone to train people on, seed collection, storage, and that kind of thing. And maybe Brian Windmiller, Janet, you know him?
Yep.
I don't know him, but I noticed I was in Carlisle on a trail, and he had put a pollinator garden on the Foss Farm Trail.
nice.
But we should investigate, somebody, that trains on that and how to do seed collection. I know Lexington does it. The Lincoln Land Trust told me Freddie came and took some of their seeds. And I know Southborough does it. They collect a lot of seeds, but they have a big established pollinator garden. But if that's something we want to promote, then we should probably have a discussion and plan. Are we going to meet over the summer? I just would like to sort of have a sense of life and how things work.
Yeah, I'm hoping to.
I'm available.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I mean, I think, Isabel, didn't you talked before about getting the green team or high school volunteers to do this? I think that would be great.
Janet did, yes.
Yeah, I talked with Brian Windmiller, and he is amenable to letting the kids go down to his pollinator garden, which is down near the sewage treatment plant, to collect seeds. I'm not sure exactly when it needs to be done. It probably depends on how warm I mean, how wet or dry the summer is and things like that.
Mhm.
And then you have to get the high school kids when they're able to, and they are usually not able to give you a lot of notice about their availability because they don't have control over a lot of things in their lives. So I think the best way to deal with that is to probably make sure they're offered community service credits.
Yeah, definitely.
Get in touch. I know the head of the environmental, well, the faculty advisor to the environment, not committee, not team, what the heck do they call them? Club, I guess,
Green-
at the high
The
school.
green team, right?
Right, that's Priscilla Guiney. She's a friend of mine. And
Cool.
I've roped her into this too. So anyway, I think we ought to have like a 2 or 3 week window, because we can't expect the kids to jump whenever we want them to. And we make this available to them via probably mainly Priscilla. And
Yeah, I
then
think we're
just
gonna
try to
need
get the kids out.
we need more information on, when do you collect the seeds?
I-
Are there different times for different plants?
Right. It should be an ongoing thing. I would think there'd be
Yeah.
something every week or two over a couple months probably.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so I think we need a lot more information on how that all works.
So that, yeah, that's a good point. That could be one of the things on our website might be, schedule for collecting seed by plant variety.
So, but there needs to be a lot more information, and I don't know who to go to for that information.
I think I just asked Brian, it's his garden.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
it may depend, how fast things ripen or when they ripen may depend somewhat on how wet or dry the summer is.
Right, and how hot.
Yeah, and the temperatures and things like that. So he's agreed to doing this. And I don't think we can take it any farther right now. I have agreements from Priscilla and Brian. And I think until fall comes, we really don't know what to do.
well, we don't know if it's fall, because I was reading that there's some in August that need to be,
Yeah.
and then also, how do you store them and how do you sort them? Because I know with Lexington, when they
Okay.
gathered, they had a whole system at the high school of just culling the seeds, so that like the milkweed doesn't have the fuzz on it that makes it
Yeah.
mold and those kind of things. There's a bigger process to this.
Well, yeah, I don't think we can get students probably in August, or I don't know by what mechanism we would communicate with them is the problem. So,
Freddie Gillespie does a lot of seed collecting. She does the most of anybody I know, and she might
Right.
have some thoughts. And she also works, she's very close to Jaguar's plant list. So that might be
Right.
doubly helpful.
So are you friends with her? Can you reach out? Because she doesn't answer to me. She
Okay.
told me that she charges $50 an hour for a consultation. And if I wanted to engage her for a consultation, I could pay.
I think
Wow.
I might bump into the same problem, but I think there's a few folks in our pollinator committee, that one over at Sudbury Valley, the native pollinator group, that might be able to have that. I'll see what I can ferret out.
Okay, I got
We
nowhere
could
when I,
all- One way to maybe sort of
Also-
step to this is pick, I don't know, 3 to 5 plants to start with maybe,
Sure.
and start slow, and not try to do it all at once, but
Absolutely. Yeah.
dip our toes in the water, because if we try to do 20 varieties,
Yeah.
we may just get overwhelmed. So
Yeah.
maybe we
good
pick
point.
our 3 favorites for this year, and then maybe next year we add 3.
Yeah.
Just an idea.
No, I think that's
Fantastic idea. I mean,
it's like with those willows I planted, I started out 2 years ago with something about this high, right? And now I looked at them. I don't know how we did it, but we got 10 willow plants, right? 9 females and 1 boy, right? And they're all 6 to 7 feet high with tons of branches. So in a way, I don't really care. You want a male willow? I can give you a little start about so long, no sweat,
So
So we could, you know.
So
those-
Janet,
Pardon?
if we decide, let's pick 3 this year, I'm just throwing out a number, something that seems reasonable. Do you think
Yeah.
you could ask Brian, like, what 3 he would recommend we start with? Maybe start with something that's easier to get seeds from?
Well, or he may also have like a priority, because milkweed is something that, really we know makes a big impact,
Yep,
and is easy to identify. But,
Yep.
But I
We
like your idea.
we have lots of milkweed on our street. If I knew how to get the seeds, I could harvest a bunch from Carlene's front yard.
Well, why don't I start by asking him what plants he has, because there's no point getting something from his garden that we could get from another place.
Well, ask him what he recommends, because he's knowledgeable, it seems like.
Yeah.
Well, he's a herpetologist. I don't
Okay.
Yeah,
wanna-
But he's been doing this.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Why
he has
don't-
a garden, but I don't know.
With the
One cool-
milkweed, I would think you just take the pods when they started to open a little bit and let
Yeah.
them dry, and then take them
Well,
out.
Let's find somebody that can tell us.
Sure.
Mark, is there anybody on the SVT task force that could
I'll
offer
ask them.
advice?
I'll ask him. That's a good question. I know they're keen on Dr. Jiguer's plant list, because the idea is to provide nectar continuously. So you don't have a 2-week gap in nectar, otherwise the bees starve, the native bees.
Right.
And then to try to provide as much pollen as you can over their breeding season, because without pollen, they don't make baby bees. So it's different than honeybees. They have a hand-to-mouth existence, native bees. The only ones that's an exception is bumblebees, which do store a little bit of nectar and pollen. But so we should shoot for plants to provide that coverage.
Well,
So
maybe
Jiguer
one
specializes-
one early, one mid, one late. I don't know.
Exactly. Like right now, it's, actually the willows have already done their bit. If the bumblebee gets up really early in the spring and March and wants to march out and start a nest, the queen needs pollen and nectar right away. And willows and a few other plants provide that early start. And now dandelions are doing it for a lot of there's a lot of other plants beside those too. Okay, well, let's do that. The seed collection thing, I think, is a great idea. And one thing I do know about seed saving is, like, these are all my vegetable seeds that I save. And inside here, I have a desiccant. So they're at a cool temperature. I mean, our house, I put these in the cellar typically, but the humidity level in here is like 5% or maybe 10 max. And with this, I can save pea seeds up to 5 years. And if I didn't have that, the pea seeds are dead after about a year and a half, maybe. So desiccating seeds extends their life. Keeping them cool extends their life, keeping them out of sunlight. And I think, this isn't, I saw an article in a magazine that my brother-in-law referred me to, and it talked about doing this. And I've had really good luck with it with vegetable seeds. I imagine it works the same with flower seeds too.
Well, the other part is that you plant the natives at Christmas, so that they get the freeze thaw.
Yeah, and I liked seeing your, that was one of the big things for the 30th for me, was seeing Isabel's, you brought a whole bunch of those to the program, these milk carton germination. And inside each milk carton, you had like, what, 20 or so plants,
Yeah.
little baby seedlings that then you could, you can reset those into bigger pots or whatever you want to do. I think that's just terrific. And we've got people doing that. Yeah, I think that's terrific. Yeah.
And Lexington, Lincoln came over on Friday to see the jug, because they're thinking of doing a workshop in the fall, the land trust.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good. This is where we can actually teach them. Excellent. Then we don't have to feel so bad about borrowing so many of their ideas, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Terrific. Well, let's see. I guess, is there any other new business? We've got a pile of stuff. Any commentary?
Who's gonna reach out to, you're gonna reach out to the webmaster?
Yeah, I'll reach out to the webmaster. I talked to her earlier, and she did have an idea of how to organize our website similar to another committee, and I'll follow up on that.
So send that to us.
I will. Okay.
And Lois, can we add you to the email chain?
Yes,
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
good. And then I think that you'll get we need to get you appointed by the
The select board. Yeah.
yeah, and I think our contact is back just yesterday. I think I sent him an email last week, and he said the email said he was away until the 8th or the 9th, something like that. So he
Who's the
should
con-
he'll take care of
Who's the
that.
contact?
Oh,
Matt
Johnson.
Johnson.
Matt
Oh,
Johnson.
Matt Johnson. Matt was, he's the chair now. And
okay.
because I watched the beginning of the select board meeting and Terry's the clerk.
Okay.
They swapped positions.
Okay. Excellent.
It's an interesting story.
We'll ping Matt and get you all set up.
Okay, and I'll try to make sure my green card is up to date. If it isn't, I'll go down to the townhouse and do it by hand.
Okay, or you can do it on, do you have a?
I,
you can do it on your-
yeah, I was trying to do it, and it looked easier tonight than it did previously. Previously, I got booted out part way,
Nuts.
so whatever,
Yeah,
life happens.
yeah. Well, it is getting easier to get around these days. Okay, is there anything else? Well,
So for the next meeting,
yes,
we will, I'll try to put up some action items.
yes,
We'll put together some materials for the website,
yep,
and then let's see. Yeah, then we need to find information on harvesting seeds.
okay. Good.
We might be able to send, I was just thinking, and then we can move on. If we can't get high schoolers, maybe we could also send notes out to the community gardens,
Yep,
the various, like, I belong to the Cousins Community Garden, so I'm sure we could send out a plea for help if we had targets.
Right.
And where I live, if you've collected the seed heads and they need to be cleaned up, perhaps where I live at Everett Gardens, and as a sit-down task, that we've got a new garden group hasn't
Oh,
completely gelled here yet, but I was thinking a sit-down task for elders might be a possibility.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
I think in involving all levels of society of our town is important.
yep,
Okay, I have the kids from Rivers and Revolutions go by my place a lot, back and forth to the high school and into town to do stuff. Now that's obviously different than the green team. Do the kids overlap on interests there at all, or?
yes,
Because I mean, the Rivers and Revolutions people and their advisors, we had to have a chat about compaction and them tramping across everything. And, compaction is a big issue with my little corner of the world here. And so anyway, that was something they were like clueless about, and it's still a bit of an issue. It's not as much as it was a couple of years ago, because like I said, we had a conversation about it. But I was surprised that there was like cluelessness
Mhm,
on advisors and the kids.
mhm.
Yeah,
And I don't know. I was, like I said, I was surprised at such extreme cluelessness.
Yeah,
yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but that group is basically, I think it's two different cohorts of people, of students, the Green Team people and the Rivers and Revolution. But it seems like that's part of their focus is to look at the natural environment. I mean, might
I
not
don't,
be.
I don't know that group at all, the Revolution.
Well,
Well,
it's a high school, it's a
Yeah.
class, well, sort of a class. It's a program. Juniors and seniors can enroll either first semester or second semester. It's a 1-semester program, and it's totally interdisciplinary learning. They're out and about in the community doing all kinds of field trips. So they're not in their usual, they're not taking their usual classes, but they have art, science, history, the whole thing. It's a fascinating program.
Yeah.
It's
We had
kind
a
of
group
theme
of-
based. It's
We had
theme
a group
based. They're
visit
trying
the
to do a
farm
lot of
last week.
Concord history and ecology.
Yep.
Right.
Well, Steve, you had something you,
Well, we had a group of them visit the farm last week for quite an extensive tour. And they've been to several other farms in town, comparing how things are done and learning a bit. And, we had a visit with a group of them a few years ago. It was kind of a disaster, but this group was very interested and asked some good questions, and we had a very nice visit.
cool.
The,
Nice.
the other group of people is, I don't know much about it at this point, is Minuteman has a horticultural program of some sort. And
Okay,
I don't know any of the information currently on what they're doing there.
Hmm.
But
that's really relevant. Yeah,
they send people out for internships and, you
yeah.
know, sort of, what do you call it, work study types of things and most things. They used to have, and I don't know what the current status is. They used to have like a whole greenhouse and
Hmm.
periodically sold plants, different types of plants and cut flowers and things, depending on seasons. I don't know what the program currently is at all.
Cool.
Well, they presented it at town meeting about needing that they're in their new building, but are gonna already be full.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Well, there should be lots of people.
Yeah, it sounds like this is
Now,
good resources.
I've basically done some things with Native Plant Trust, and nobody's mentioned them. Is that, some people like them and some people don't, and
Well, they're wonderful. I don't belong, I'm thinking of joining. But everything's expensive.
Yeah.
So that I don't.
Is that
Yeah.
the garden in the woods or
Yes.
whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love going there, but Isabel is right. It's super expensive. I limit myself to just a couple plants.
Well, all of their programs, there's a significant membership, and then you have to pay for every program.
Yeah.
So it's,
I do happen to be a member, and if anybody wants to go, I can
oh,
take up several
give
people.
a ride,
I can
I'll
take several
do it
people, so
I'll
give
do anything.
me a call.
Okay.
I think they
And,
do sell kits.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that might be interesting.
And I've gotten plants like at the end of the season when they're majorly reduced in price.
Yep,
That's why I got like all my blueberry bushes there,
yeah.
which the
yeah.
rabbits have loved.
Oh, boy. Well, good.
Shall we move to adjourn?
Yeah,
Looks like we have a move in a second. Is that fair? All in favor?
Aye.
I
Aye.
see you in June. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Okay.
we'll
Thank you.
hear from everybody before June.
Yes, yes. Circulate new versions of website pages and share information, on a, sort of
Yeah.
a, here's what I'm finding.
Mhm.
And I don't think anything we talk about is that controversial. So
So our next meeting is June 6th.
yes, June
Monday
Yes.
night.
7 o'clock, first Monday.
Okay.
And I'll get Sig Ruse. We'll bump Sig Ruse off the list and put Lois on.
I'll
Oh, don't-
aim to try to get the minutes out next weekend.
Okay. And and as I find out, I'll get a hold of, either I will get a hold of or someone I know will get a hold of Freddie and we'll sort of pick our brains about harvesting seeds and all that good stuff.
What's, maybe Janet knows Enid.
Oseberg.
Yeah. I mean, didn't she sort of start the seed thing?
Yep.
at-
Yeah, I'm not
I'll
sure
look-
how active she is now, but yes, she started
Yeah.
it a few years ago in West Concord.
but,
Yeah.
She might be willing to just give us some advice on how to do it.
Yeah.
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 So she's done it before. And then the garden club, I didn't go over to this sale this year, but in the past, they've had people who have saved seeds.
Hmm.
Because I
Wow.
know I got, and yeah. And then I've also gotten some Ag Day. There's been people that
Yes.
have had seeds at Ag Day.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's something we probably should put on the agenda. Are there things, Steve, that we need to, be mindful of?
Well, Egg Day will be the Saturday after Labor Day.
Okay,
Chance to have a table there if you'd like to.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I
Yep.
think we do.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, good. Well,
thank you,
Thanks.
everybody.
see you all. Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Bye, everyone.
We'll be in
Bye-bye.
touch.
Thank you.
Okay. All righty. If we need to meet about something, give me a holler or whatever.
Okay.
Okay.